Hello, welcome to Melanin and Albinoid Live. I am Lady Abimbola. Welcome to my vlog again. I'm a strong activist against the gang stalking program, an evil persecution and harassment against the human mind. I have been a target myself for more than 15 years, and the war is against the mind. Welcome to my blog. As I show you some examples, and I bring you into the reality of the war against the human mind. Now, the war against the human mind. To start with, I want to go directly to read something to encourage every targeted individuals all over the world. And this is taken from the book of Revelation. Those of you that have been mind controlled already to believe there is no God existing, and those of us that still believe in God, we're just wasting our time. Well, be patient with me reading this aspect of the Bible, because there is a God. And first thing, if somebody wants to destroy you, if you're a targeted individual, you should know this already. When somebody wants to destroy you, that is highly evil. The technicality of your attack is how you know how wicked and determined the person is. When somebody attacks you directly, most of the time they're very harmless. But when somebody strategizes to attack you, they really mean you deep harm. Now, I will go to the Bible, my own source of strength, to the book of Revelation, chapter 13. I would read from verse 11. Sorry, we don't read the whole chapter. Then I saw another beast rising out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon. It exercises all the authority of the first beast in its presence, and makes the earth and even makes the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose mortal wound was healed. It performs great signs, even making fire come down from heaven to earth and in front of people. And by the signs that it is allowed to walk in the presence of the beast. It deceives those who dwell on earth, and telling them to make an image for the beast that was wounded by the sword and yet lived, and it was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast might even speak, and might cause those who will not worship the image of the beast to be slain. Also, it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slaves, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has a mark that is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has the understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and its number is 666. The number of the beast does not basically mean physical number, like most people are talking about implanted chips and everything into our body, and everything is possible, but it's not whatever is implanted in your body that actually makes you worship the beast. It subdues you to the worship of the beast, but that does not what makes you go against the laws of God, okay? The number 666 actually talks about the worship itself, the willful worship of the beast. You see, anything that is done against the human race, and it becomes sin before God Almighty. There is a God. Don't be deceived that there is no God in heaven. Because, you see, when you believe God when you're already dead on the judgment day, it's too late. You cannot switch over. Now the deception is for you not to believe in God. The deception is for you to think there is no God. The deception is for you to actually question the authority of the Creator God. Okay. If the society that has been demonized now believes there is Lucifer, the devil, that he actually exists. So how come they're fighting you so much not to believe that the Creator God does not exist? An interesting revelation. Now, this is actually what I read right now is actually a kind of call for endurance of all the targeted individuals. And I want to dissect this thing because I talk about the racist system and the gang stalking program. You know, my blog is all about the gang stalking program, the racist system, and every abuse on the human race. Now, I will actually tell you the difference between the two things, or, you know, the similarities, not the difference, the similarities of the two things, but that's meant to achieve the same thing. But why specifically is the melanin race singled out of the human race to be persecuted, to be harassed, and even a whole system created against this race to destroy this race? Why? Have you ever thought about it? I would quickly remind all those critics right now. I've not been criticized by anybody, I thank God, you know, but I thank God that, you know, I've had so much favor with my blogs or things like that. But the thing is that my blog is not an hateful blog. I don't have a heart to hate. No, I don't associate myself and place myself in the position of, position to be destroyed, but I don't have a heart to hate. So I don't hate, but I will not associate with those that can destroy me. Now, my videos is not a video of hate. It's not a video that is promoting any kind of hatred. I'm for love and not for hate. But let's be clear about it. When you're threatened by something, you want to take that thing away. By force, by fire, by whatever means. You want to take it away. So right now, what I'm trying to say is there a force? Is there individuals? Is there something that is fearful of the melanin race? There have been so many situations throughout the human history of attack, of trauma, of all kinds of things. But the attack against the melanin race is you cannot explain it. The gang stalking program, I refer to it as a situation like in the days of the Holocaust. And I will quickly just explain what that is, okay? Now, the Holocaust, also referred to as the Shoah, was a genocide during the World War II, in which the German Nazi, actually headed by its collaborators, systematically murdered some 6 million European Jews, around 2/3 of the Jewish populations of Europe between 1941 and 1945. Jews were targeted for extermination as part of a larger event involving the persecution and murder of other groups, including, in particular, the Roma and incurable Sikh people, as well as ethnic Poles, the melanin race, the Slavs, the Soviet citizens, the Soviet prisoners of war, political opponents, homosexuals, Christians, resulting in up to about 17 million deaths during the Second World War. The gang stalking program and the Holocaust is the same, because this is the Holocaust zeroed in. You know, it was a genocide, okay? They zeroed in and on particular people they have to exterminate. Why have they chosen to exterminate these people? Of course, Adolf Hitler had the explanation for that, and all the Nazi Germany. Now, I want to give you the not all, not the difference, but the similarities between the gang stalking program and the melanin system. Now, I got an article from one man called Bob Well. This man wrote, I think it was on his Facebook profile. He said something very interesting, and I would read. To justify slavery, the albinoid portrayed, he didn't use the word albinoid, he used the word white. But, I refer to white as albinoid. And the reason I do that is because, albinoid is somebody with no melanin or little percent of melanin. Albinoid. In the albino setting, just like you have the human, you have the mammal, you have all kind of things. So the human race, you have the albinoid, people without melanin or have very little melanin, okay? And I will still talk about the melanin and the power of the melanin, those of you bleaching your skin. So I would read this article from Bob Well. To justify slavery, we albinoid portrayed blacks as subhuman, primitive, stupid, and civil. To justify segregation, we whites portray blacks as morally corrupt, ignorant, predatory, and sinful. After civil rights, we albinoid portrayed blacks as evil, drug addicts, gang bangers, criminals, and welfare queens. There has never been a point in our history when we whites have systematically and institutionally valued the melanin lives as we do our own lives. That's why Black Lives Matter, period. Okay, I believe he was actually writing an article about the Black Lives Matter. For example, if I say I need olive oil, I need to get olive oil. Why? Because I don't have olive oil any longer, or I have very little. I know I'm going to run out of it. That's why I need it. So when you actually form a group that says Black Lives Matters, do you have to get to that stage of forming a group to testify that a life actually matters? Have I seen white life matters? So when you actually get to that, this man's article, it actually got to my spirit. To justify slavery, we portray them as this, and this. To justify the segregation we caused them, we portray them as being morally corrupt, ignorant, predatory, and sinful. They are criminals. And when after civil rights, we portray them as drug addicts, gangbangers, welfare queens, and all kind of things. So to justify, you see, this gang stalking program, the racist system, we have to be more sensitive. That's why I don't want to really, when I use things like, for example, when the law enforcement agent is harassing me, I always use things like the infiltrators. Because I don't believe the whole law enforcement is something, they are actually people participating, that they're part of them. But not everyone knows even what I'm talking today. Some law enforcement, they don't even have an idea. So when you now accuse those ones that don't even have an idea of what gang stalking is all about to be involved in something they're not aware of. Because, you see, we are in a war, and the war is against the human mind. Okay. In the past, there have been situations to manipulate to the human mind. Like, for example, I'm talking about the LSD pills. Pills that is meant to break down the human brain, to break down the human mind with the intention to control the mind. And in the process, you see, in laboratories, you have situations whereby people are hypnotized, people are traumatized, people you use electric shock, isolation, and deprivation. So when you talk about the gang stalking program, hypnotism sometimes is involved. How? if you're very careless as a targeted individual or a targeted race. Because one thing I found out with the melanin race, that they are very careless race. Careless in the sense that I'm not promoting hatred. I will never ever in my life promote hatred, because I'm of God and everything of God is of love. Yes, I might display anger because I am not happy about certain situation. I have the right to express my emotions, to express my feelings, but I will never promote anything to destroy the human race that I desire to come together. So, in the gang stalking programming, with the German Nazi also used during the Holocaust, is to hypnotize people. They traumatize people. And you see all those things. I mean, some of my videos, if you go to the gang stalking robbery program playlist on my YouTube channel, you will find I intentionally begin to expose even some shameful things that people say, you're giving too much information. Actually, some people actually unsubscribe that, well, this chick is crazy, why is she putting all those things? Well, you don't control what I do on my channel. I know what my focus is on. I know what I'm aiming for. 1 or 2 subscribers lost doesn't make anything for me. You know, it's a new channel anyway. I just started this November. I started this channel because I have, you know, most of you must have seen me around for about a year. Yeah, the old channel, I had so many subscribers and it was pulled down because of some copyright issues. So this other channel also, I opened it last year also with the intention to use it as a channel for health, for the melanin, for the targeted individuals, for the health things you can do and so many other things. But unfortunately, I have to use it as my main channel now, and I will do the health thing later. So the gang stalking program, I wrote the gang stalking robbery program, which means that they actually intentionally rob me. Not that they are robbing me to get a response from me. Maybe like an aggressive response, so they can declare me mentally not well, or they can incarcerate me if I do something out of anger. How can you steal the whole apartment of somebody? Is it possible? They are not after my apartment. They are not after my money they've been stealing. They are not after my property they've been stealing. They are after me reacting. So through my own willful act, they can now have a justified reason to declare me mentally sick or fit to be incarcerated. You have you understand now, because you see, in all my situation concerning houses, one thing they all have alike, they tell me I must leave without any problem. I don't owe, I always pay them. I don't owe, I always pay them. But they intentionally do things to provoke me. Like in Biology Sopra, they refuse to fix my my toilet and all the things that need to be fixed, so that something will happen. Maybe I will react, I will misbehave, I will break something. You know, they did all those things to frustrate me as a person, so they can get a reaction out of me. And another thing they did, I found all my properties outside. The law enforcement agent came to the place and, you know, they said, okay, I must leave and everything. I had to leave because then I was really broken. Really, I was really sad in the worst time of my life, because then, I mean, I just came back from a trip. I was so tired. My mom I just lost my mom, and so many things happened. It was just beyond. It was too much, but they have a 24-hour surveillance on me, and they violate my internet connection. So definitely they know some of these things. Maybe an email that came to me that they read, they abuse my privacy, you know. So these are psychopaths that are behind these situations. They are not human. They are fully demonized. That's why targeted individuals, crying will not solve the situation. Understand the game. I'm still alive today because I understand the game. When I found out they stole my apartment, I know the guy, the custodian, was not directly involved. But the situation is that they want me to come back, be provoked, and react, and maybe start breaking things or killing people. I was so calm. The first day, the 29th of October 2018, when I found out, the video is on YouTube also, I was very calm the first day. I was a bit nervous, but I was very calm. But the second day, The top day, the 31st, when I was supposed to go back because I spent just 2-3 nights in Milan, I was supposed to come back, I was really touched. I wanted to kill somebody, but I raised my voice. But of course, I was also provoked that day. I was also sincerely provoked, but I tried to still maintain to have control over my emotions, not to give them the reaction they want. Because it is a setup. These are psychopaths. They are mentally sick. These are deprived, very dangerous human beings. When demons are in place in somebody's life, those human beings can kill their own child without mercy. A mother can give back. It happened here some time ago that here there was a woman that killed her own child. For years she was saying she never did anything. She's totally under mind control. Maybe she took the LSD pill. I don't know. Bewitched. I don't know. But you see, Satan has always tried to control, to be like God. And since he cannot overthrow God on his throne, he has decided not to have control over God's creation. If you know you're such a big shot, if Lucifer knows he's such a big shot, why don't you go and create your own people? Now he's trying to create his own people, all these robots that looks like human being. One of them even called Sophia, that they gave passport in Saudi Arabia. If he knows, if the Satan you're serving, you gang stalkers, you servants of Satan that you are serving, if Lucifer is such a big shot, why can't you create his own human beings? Why can't he do his own things? Why is it that he's competing with God? Why is he's destroying everything God has created? Beautiful. If you go to the book of Genesis, God created everything in 7 days. It was beautiful. It was good. He said it himself that all he has created is beautiful, is good. He gave himself thumbs up and he said, we finished with creation. So why is Lucifer attacking God? It is no match with God in heaven. So the only thing he can do is to attack his children, which is us. So crying will not solve this gang stalking problem. And that's why you see people like me, this is where I am right now. It's not the best option for me, but you see, one thing is that Apostle Paul said something. I know how to live in wealth. I also know how to live, on whatever is available for me. Wealth will not make me sell my soul. My soul is not for sale. That is obvious. But the thing is that there are some sick humans that have actually availed themselves to the worship of Satan. They are carrying out the destruction of the human race. And how do you do that? I've always said it. Where the mind goes, the man goes. So they are breaking down the human mind. Because once you get the mind, you can do anything. That is where they create the assassins. That's where they create the perpetrators. The perpetrators are people that stalk, the gang stalkers. Perpetrators are people that become handlers for anybody that they choose to destroy, or they are under mind control. So also the isolation kind of thing, they isolate also to achieve a purpose. They think when somebody is under isolation, that person will be vulnerable to be easily deceived. So when they put you in the isolation level, the next thing is that they want to send one of them to come to you. They already know what they're doing to you. They already know you are broke, busted, and disgusted. That's when that person will offer you what they know you need. And trauma, electric shock, deprivation of course of wealth in this case. They stop you from having work, they hinder you from having work, they stealing your property, stealing your wealth, because they want to deprive you of what will make you to be independent. Because as a targeted individual, as a targeted race, and that's why you see the melanin race, they're always broke, busted, and disgusted. Why? Because you see, when you lack the necessary human and basic human needs, you are vulnerable to be manipulated. You are vulnerable to even sell yourself cheap. That's why you see a very beautiful, a very wonderful human, a male or female, that can be taken advantage of. I've seen people walk into homosexuality voluntarily. Into homosexuality, not because they wanted, a desire that kind of sexual lust, but because they were broke, busted, and discarded, and one sick a sexual predator comes to them and offer them, something ridiculous. Because Satan is not all about making you happy. He wants to, everything he does is to laugh at God. Everything he does is to laugh at God. Somebody will not want to introduce you to homosexuality and say you have to have this, apart from people that want to, apart from people selling their souls. Those who are selling their souls, they can offer you 100,000, they can offer you 1 million. You sell your soul, they'll give you a lot because they're taking your soul from you. Because when they take your soul, even what you are taking from them is nothing any longer. They can take it away from you like that. Why do you find some musicians, some artists, they are so rich and all of a sudden they lose all the money? Because once you sell your soul, you are not in control of anything again. This woman, Rebecca, whatever her name is, that she sang a song, Take Care of Your Soul. You see, when you get all this money, at the end of the day, you have control over nothing. Even the horse you're riding, it belongs to them. Somebody else is controlling everything you do. When you drink water, when you have to be slim, when you have to be fat. They can decide to starve you for 24 hours, for 48 hours, for 72 hours. You cannot complain. Because selling your soul means that you have actually sold your right to be human. Soul is actually the legal right we have to be human here on earth. Demons don't have a soul. That's why they're heartless. That's why they're vicious. That's why they're terrible. When you sell your soul, then demons take control. And that's why you see, when there are perpetrators and they're ignorant perpetrators, those are just people that are excited that they've been given power by the law enforcement agent to afflict you. Like when I see students harassing me, they don't physically come to harass me, but they say things because it is all planned. There was a time I was in Bressanone, a man was actually telling the university students when I was coming, okay, she's because they're stalking me, they know when I enter the bus, when I'm coming down, what time I'll be arriving. So I saw him grouping some, some students and telling them one bullshit or whatever. So when I entered the university, I went to the library and they came and they opened my computer, they got into the Wi-Fi and invaded my computer, my laptop. They begin to manipulate my data, they begin to read my emails, they begin to, it's a terrible situation. You see, the gang stalking program is, and the racist system, the similarities is to achieve the same purpose, but only that one has been concentrated on a particular race, while the others is on the whole human race. So the deprivation of wealth, of whatever, is to, you see, it's just like when they put somebody in the laboratory and they deprive you of sleep, they deprive you of wealth, they deprive you of food. It's the same thing. Depriving you of wealth is to deprive you of food, because when you don't have money, you cannot buy food to eat. You don't have a place to stay. So most of it, you become destitute. The gang stalking program is to make the targeted individual destitute. Because through destitution, you are vulnerable to be actually used for a greater experiment where they can destroy you. Because in destitution, when they use it for an experiment and you die in the process, no, you cannot account for you because you are destitute. They can say a car crushed you. They can say you committed suicide. You are tired of the destitution. Anything can happen. You can easily be killed. It's not as even if you are not destitute, they cannot kill you. They can still do that. Look at Bob Marley. It was just a gift they gave to him that punctured his leg and they sent virus into his blood. So, the gang stalking programming, the racist system, is a system established, a program created to liberate the mind of man, to liberate the memory of man, to destroy the memory of man and make it free and empty, to be reprogrammed. To be reprogrammed to the worship of the Antichrist. To reprogram the worship of the Antichrist means that they can now easily present whatever their true intentions are and program it into your mind, and you act the way they want you to. Now, going back to the false accusation, the defamation of character, they try to stigmatize most of us with. What they do is that whatever they identify you with probably is what they want to use you for. Because the gang stalking programming, the psychopaths behind it, they are actually behind the drug lords. They control the drugs. Whether it's prescription drugs, whether it's all these illegal drugs, they are behind it. The people that sells it, the traffickers on the road, those boys, they're just, some of them are even whatever. They are behind it. They are behind child pornography. Every kind of pornography you can find, they are behind it. They are behind slavery. Any form of slavery, from the slavery in the 18th century and the slavery you have today, the modern day slavery. Even though it has been declared that no human has the right, both legal or any right, to take captive another person against their will. But they still do it today. And I call that the modern day slavery. The targeted individuals, I will encourage you with this video to know that this is something beyond what we can handle as human beings. We only need divine intervention to carry out what is happening right now. We need divine intervention. We need help from God Almighty, and it's only God Almighty that can actually manage the situation concerning Satan. Satan is behind the gang stalking program, the rescue system. Every human being you find that is part of the program, they are either in secret society, they are brainwashed zombies, they are like what you call I want to make sure you're like what they call in those days, so I will be rounding up with this note that the gang stalking program for the targeted individual, I love to encourage you to be strong in all that is happening. Don't give up, don't be discouraged, and don't beg for mercy. You cannot beg for mercy from a merciless individual, because you see, the gang stalking program is actually done by people that are under demonic possession. And when somebody is under demonic possession, demons have no mercy. Okay, the only mercy we have is God Almighty, and that's why they're trying to brainwash most people to believe that God does not exist. And if He exists, why is He making all these things happen? Remember, the Bible says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, I will heal their land. So the thing is that we are not doing our part to seek God's face, to pray, to heal the land. When we invite Him into the situation, He will heal the land. There are forces fighting against us by day and by night. Some of us will make wrong choices, not because we want to, because probably we'll be frustrated to just make stupid, dumb choices. But I pray that we'll not make the choices that will lead us to hellfire. The most important thing to remember that your soul is a valuable asset in the hands of Satan. And all his emissaries, all the armies of Satan here on earth, they have one purpose: to accomplish the mission of their master, Lucifer, to steal, to kill, and to destroy the human race. Don't be part of it. Don't sell your soul. God, you see, if you make it to heaven with one eye and with one leg, it's better. You see, to start with one eye, with one leg, this body is not who we are. Man is a spirit. We have a soul that gives us legal permission here on earth, and we live in this body. When we go back to God, we have to leave this bodily suit behind. So if you have one eye, one leg, or whatever, and you make it to heaven, it's nothing. It has nothing to do with who you are. Take care of your soul. Remember, the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. So, as I always say, face your fears, elevate your mind, and resist every temptation to panic. Please remember to thumbs up if you like this video and to subscribe. Also, you're free to share all my videos to encourage other people and other TR. Thank you. Till my next video blog, stay cool. Hello, I'm Lady Abimbola. I'm against narcissistic gang stalkers. Please help me with the campaign against the gang stalkers, the campaign and awareness against the gang stalking programming, and evil persecution and harassment against the human race. It has claimed many lives. Please help me. Below are information on how you can donate. Thank you. All your efforts will be highly appreciated. Thank you.